Beneath our feet lies a story, millions, sometimes billions, of years in the making. A story of fire, water, wind, and time itself. From the molten fury of erupting volcanoes to the slow, patient artistry of erosion carving landscapes over millennia, the Earth is alive, ever-changing, and endlessly fascinating. Every rock holds a secret. Every mountain, every canyon, every valley whispers a tale of creation and destruction. This is Naturalens, your lens to the Earth's greatest geological wonders. This is the Sahara Desert. About 5,000 years ago, significantly more rain fell in what is known as the Green Sahara. But today, the Sahara is a treacherous, dry, dusty, and sweltering hot land. Marine and terrestrial evidence shows that northern Africa gradually dried up, transforming from a water-filled region into the rocky and sandy expanse we see today. Changes in the Earth's tilt and weather patterns led to reduced precipitation and consequently less vegetation. This process gave birth to the Sahara Desert as we know it today. With an average annual temperature of 30 degrees Celsius and a record high of 58 degrees Celsius, the Sahara is one of Earth's harshest environments. Rainfall is scarce, with some areas receiving less than an inch per year. At night, temperatures drop dramatically due to the lack of humidity, sometimes reaching lows of -6 degrees Celsius, though the average nighttime temperature is around 20 degrees Celsius. Snow falls regularly on some mountain ranges, but nowhere else in the desert. Spanning 9.4 million square kilometers, about a third of Africa's landmass and nearly the size of the United States. The Sahara is the world's largest hot desert and the third largest desert overall, following Antarctica and the Arctic. Studies indicate that the Sahara has alternated between dry and lush conditions throughout its history. The name Sahara comes from the Arabic noun Sahara, meaning desert. It spans nearly all of northern Africa, covering Mauritania, Morocco, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Chad, Mali, Niger, Sudan, and the non-self-governing territory of Western Sahara. The desert's actual boundaries expand and contract over time. It is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the west, the Atlas Mountains and Mediterranean Sea to the north, the Red Sea to the east, and the Sahel, a semi-arid transitional zone, to the south. The sands of the Sahara have witnessed centuries of human history. Among its most striking features are towering dunes, which can reach heights of 180 meters. Algeria's Aizawen and Typhonine dune field spans 38,000 square kilometers, with some dunes reaching 450 meters high. Contrary to popular belief, most of the Sahara consists of rocky landscapes rather than sand. About 70% comprises plateaus, valleys, and mountains, while 30% is covered in sand. The highest point, Mount Kusi in the Tibesti Mountains of Chad, rises to 3,415 meters, 11,204 feet, and extends into Libya. Water is scarce, but over 20 seasonal saltwater lakes and underground aquifers sustain more than 90 oases. The desert also contains Lake Chad and two permanent rivers, the Nile and the Niger. The Nile originates in Central Africa, flows north through Sudan and Egypt, and empties into the Mediterranean. The Niger rises in West Africa, flows northeast into the desert, then turns southeast through Nigeria, draining into the Gulf of Guinea. Some of the largest underground water reserves in the Sahara lie 100 to 250 meters deep. These water sources provide the necessary conditions for life to persist in the desert. From volcanic eruptions to glacial carvings, Earth is always in motion. But before we journey further into its breathtaking landscapes, so stick around, there's still so much to uncover, right here on Naturalens. The Sahara has an estimated population of 2 million, with permanent communities near water and seasonal nomads following ancient trade routes. The Bedouins, whose name derives from the Arabic Badawi, desert dweller, are a nomadic people who migrate based on seasonal changes. The Tuareg, a Berber ethnic group, primarily inhabits central Sahara regions, stretching across Libya, Algeria, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. These tribes sustain themselves through livestock herding, hunting, and gathering. The Sahara has been influenced by numerous civilizations, from the Berbers and early Arabs to Egyptians, Nubians, Phoenicians, Greeks, and Romans. Later, the Ottoman, Spanish, Italian, French, and British empires left their mark. During World War II, the desert saw fierce battles. For centuries, trade caravans transported gold, salt, spices, and slaves along trans-Saharan routes, linking sub-Saharan Africa with North Africa and Arabia. Caravans typically traveled at night to avoid extreme heat, covering about 25 miles per day. Some journeys took weeks or months. Trade intensified in the 3rd century and expanded significantly after camels were introduced to North Africa. Camels revolutionized desert travel, capable of covering long distances with minimal water while carrying heavy loads. Improved saddle designs increased carrying capacity, enhancing trade efficiency. Camels remain essential to desert nomads today, able to survive a week without water and a month without food by storing fat in their humps. Equipped with thick lips for eating thorny plants, footpads for traversing rocky and sandy terrain, and protective features like slit nostrils and long eyelashes, camels endure the Sahara's punishing conditions. When water is available, they can drink over 30 gallons in minutes. The Sahara's history includes the trans-Saharan slave trade, a dark chapter that echoes in perilous modern migrations. Ancient guides navigated using wind patterns, dune formations, and celestial markers, skills geographers now analyze to classify the Sahara's varied landscapes. The desert soil is largely dry and saline, with little organic matter. However, bacteria thrive in some areas, and depressions often have higher organic content. Despite its arid conditions, the Sahara is rich in paleontological and archaeological treasures, from dinosaur fossils to relics of ancient civilizations. Vegetation is sparse, but includes resilient species like date palms, tamarisks, and acacias, which develop deep roots to access underground water. The Eye of the Sahara, or Richat structure, is one of the desert's most unique geological formations. Located in Mauritania, this 40-kilometer-wide dome-like structure was once thought to be an impact crater, but is now believed to have formed due to hydrothermal activity. The Sahara also hosts some of the world's most iconic pyramids. While Egypt is famous for its pyramids, ancient Nubia, modern-day Sudan, contains even more. Wildlife in the Sahara has adapted to extreme conditions. Most mammals are small to reduce water loss, remaining underground during the day and emerging at night. The region hosts around 70 mammal species, 90 resident bird species, and 100 reptile species, with biodiversity concentrated near water sources. The human body can survive only about 3 days without water in the Sahara. However, those who live here cultivate crops near oases and raise livestock. The nomadic lifestyle persists due to the need to find grazing land after rainfall. To protect themselves, desert inhabitants wear long robes against the sun, turbans against sandstorms, and sandals for mobility. Despite its harsh conditions, the Sahara remains a land of resilience, history, and untamed beauty. Every mountain, every valley, every towering cliff is a monument to time and transformation. For billions of years, Earth has shaped itself, sculpted by forces both gentle and violent, and we are lucky enough to witness its masterpiece. Join us on this never-ending journey through time, stone, and wonder. Subscribe to Hounds of History Network and let's keep exploring. Because the Earth's story, it's far from over.